Information and content found in this video may not be suitable for those that are sensitive or are easily triggered. Therefore, viewers' discretion is advised.
Back again because I want to share with you an experience that I had in my early 20s. But before I get into that, I just want to quickly talk about a few things because I'm having people, reach out to me and they say that, oh, I had this dream, I had that dream. And yes, we have dreams. Our subconscious can play out in dreams, and, dreams are real. But a lot of the time when we go to sleep, when our body is resting, our astral bodies, or, we can astral project or have outer body experiences. A lot of us do that all the time. Some of us are very natural and we've always done it. And as I mentioned before, of course, we're in a dimension right now. And, when our avatar rests, our consciousness or our soul or our energetic body can and does quite often leave the physical body and go either in the same dimension, so in a different location, whether through our own free will, or whether because our astral body or consciousness has been forced out of our bodies. And in my lab's case, that's kind of what happens. When they take us, they can force our astral body and our consciousness, out of our physical, and they can take us and they can put us in clones and alters and things like that. But not alters, but clones and other bodies and things like that. But many of you know that anyway. So, or they take us in the future, the past. They can take us in other dimensions, alternate realities, different timelines. I've experienced all of the above. And yes, they can take us physically. But the most common way they take us is, as I mentioned before, is they take our consciousness or our astral body. And if a lot of my labs were being truthful and honest, they would, say that, be specific in the ways that they are taking. They don't. They just say, oh, I've had this experience. I've done this. I've done that. So, when people hear that, they think, they've been taken physically, and it's not always physical, guys. And regardless, it doesn't matter whether you're taken physically or your astral body or your consciousness, all these experiences are real. We've got to remember, we are energetic, spiritual consciousness beings in an avatar, in a 3D human meat suit, or whatever you want to call it. And so when people are sharing their experiences and not being specific in ways that they are being taken, of course, those that have had their own experiences or dreams, they're just going to be like, well, yeah, I kind of had an experience like that, but it was just a dream. So they write it off. It's just a dream. And so this is where I come in. And I'm going to speak more about, the different ways that they take us, and remind a lot of you that they're not just dreams. Yes, of course, they are dreams. People have dreams. Our subconscious can play out and things like that, and fears. A lot of us have past life memories come up in dreams and things like that, because, some people think, I'm having these experiences and it can't be happening in this reality, in this incarnation, in this body. It must be a past life, experience. And yes, of course, you can have them. You can have past life memories bleed through. But when it's a lot and it's consistent and it's parallel to thousands of other my labs and the stories match, or you're having experiences with other people you either know or don't know in your personal life, and then you come together, or you share your experiences and you're like, holy crap, we was in the same place at the same time. It's just very parallel. You soon start to realize and catch on, and like, oh, well, this is real, and so it's not always past life memories. Like these groups, these CIA shadow operative friggin' nefarious groups, like I use different names to describe them, but the bastards, excuse my French, those that, the shadow government and organizations, and that, the MyLab, the Monarch programs and projects and everything else, they're real. There's so much documentation and people coming forward with their experiences, and there have been since the 1940s. Like these groups, it's not hidden. If you Google it, especially on Yandex. Not, I wouldn't use Google personally. It's there. And they were doing all these experiments on military, their own soldiers, on civilians, mental patients. They definitely use them a lot to do these experiments before they, basically experimented on, other people in groups, innocent people, or those in power, those in the military, things like that. Many of you know this, and a lot of people aren't aware of this, or if they are, some just assume that it stopped, that the programs had stopped, and they hadn't stopped. They just probably might have changed the name a little bit of the different, projects and groups and things like that. Programs, sorry. It's still going on. It's been going on to this day. And the thing is, I didn't know any of this information before I was having my experiences. I was just 20, I've always been taken since I was a child. And I know that because of memories and experiences. Well, like I say, I had no idea who or what was taking me. And of course, like a lot of people, and perhaps a lot of you listening now, you just assume, oh, that was a weird dream. You just put it down as dreams. Of course, they want us to believe it's just dreams. So this is how, so they can get away with what they're doing. And also, how can we prove it? Especially when they don't always take us physically. You can't prove these things. This is why they've got away with it for so long. But the thing is, more and more people are remembering, they're raising their vibration, and they're having memory bleed through. Just memories just activating and coming to the forefront of the mind. And there's going to be more to come. So, and I believe this information is going to come out one day in the future, way in the future. It's going to come out. People are going to know about it. And those that ridiculed us or called us crazy, if they're still alive in the future, when they come across this information, they're going to be like, oh shit, yeah. I have heard people talk about their experiences and they weren't crazy, and do I look crazy? Do I look manic? Do I look unstable? Can I have conversations and, articulate well? And yes. Well, I'm not, unstable. I'm not here, there, and everywhere. I'm not manic or, and like it's just silly, isn't it? It really is. And I don't do drugs. I don't drink. I don't even take paracetamols, for headaches or anything like that. Like I don't do any of that. And a lot of the time it's annoying, you see, because a lot of my labs, unfortunately, they do have certain diagnoses, whichever. And so, yeah, and when people know this and they share their experiences, well, it just makes them seem even more less credible, doesn't it? Oh, well, no wonder she's speaking like this because she's got this X, Y, and Z disorder and illness and and all that cob's wallop. And, and it gets thrown in your face. And people need to understand that a lot of my labs have these mental illnesses and disorders because of what they've gone through. They weren't just born with having these disorders, as we've been told that, oh, it's in the family, it's in the genes, it's hereditary, it's all this BS. Of course, yes, things can pass down through genetics and stuff like that. But when it comes to certain, mental illnesses and disorders and things like that, no, it was never there. If it was going to be there, it would be there right off the bat. I never displayed any mental health issues or problems or mania or delusional things like that. I still had a normal life despite everything that was happening all around me. Despite what I was going through, I was very strong, very resilient, and pushed it to the back of my mind. And I lived a fairly normal life. And so, yeah, and it's only later on down the line, of course, when you start having these memories, then you go to the doctors. Oh, yeah, you've got this. But of course, who are the doctors working for? Many of them have no idea that, everything that they've learnt in college and university, and still in debt up to their eyeballs. They have no idea who's written all this rubbish in these books, that all they've done is just read, practiced, remembered, and regurgitated. And a lot of these doctors, there's some lovely ones, but a lot of them are just, they're very 3D human mindset logical. A lot of them don't even have empathy. And, they're just like, oh, yeah, symptoms. Oh, yeah. Well, psychiatrists, those who diagnose, things, they just give you this stamp. It's a label. It's another way to control us, disempower us, shut us up. Because who's going to believe a crazy person who's got, I don't know, paranoid schizophrenia or something like that, which I haven't got that diagnosis, but there is paranoid schizophrenia. It's just a name, it's a label. Those that have or display those symptoms are actually, a lot of them are my labs, a lot of them are actually star seeds, high frequency vibrational souls and consciousness that have come down. And number one, having a hard time being human because the frequency and vibration is very different down here. It's very dense, and they struggle. And then because a lot of them, because of who they are, because of their consciousness, because of their DNA, because of what certain keys and codes they have within them, they a lot of the time we're taken, we're utilized, we're used, we're abused, we're used as super soldiers, and all these other programs, the secret space program and all that. So and a lot of you know this anyway, or kind of figuring it out really. But yeah, it's just absolutely insane. A part of me just doesn't give a crap really, but about what people think, and I generally don't. I will share my experiences regardless whether people think I'm frigging nuts or not. But yeah, this is more just to help as well those that are kind of doing what I used to do at the beginning, like just writing their memories off, or downplaying their experiences, or don't want to know, and they're just pushing it to the back of the head, and it's like, oh no, it's just a dream, it's just this, it's just that. Half the time, these dreams are nothing more than memories or real time experiences, like I say, when they take you. And a lot of time, as soon as you are back in your body, you immediately remember all these experiences, and so yeah, especially like, don't do it to yourself, guys. Just like, many of you are realizing that there's something deeper going on within themselves, and that they have definitely been going through some things, and they've been taken and stuff, and many of them are ready to kind of explore their memories and dreams and things. And many of them are looking back at their life and how it's played out, and their experiences, and just trying to put the pieces together. And and this is why I'm here as well, to help you put the pieces together, to help validate, and to help show support via me sharing my own experiences. And like I say, you're not crazy. And of course, if you're comfortable, share your experiences, no matter how big and no matter how small. We all have a piece to the puzzle. And what's the chances of millions or thousands of us having the exact same experiences? And many of us kept our experiences to ourselves, never shared them to anyone. And then, it's only when then we bump into other people who've had the same experiences, and they're like, oh my God, I didn't say anything, I haven't shared this to anyone, and I can't believe I've met someone who's gone through the same. I thought I was crazy, and that's kind of how it works. And we're coming together like a network, and we're realizing, it's not, I don't know, I'm sure there may be people out there that probably might lie or fabricate their experiences, and I'm sure there are people out there, there's liars, unfortunately, and disingenuous people. Again, it's just, that's what we see a lot. But the majority of those, like myself, are genuine and have gone through real experiences. So yeah, it's not something we've read, it's not something we've seen in a movie, although movies do show examples of these things that we go through. And yeah, like it's amazing because, you know, we are connecting, we are helping each other to piece the puzzle together. And yeah, I just want to pause 1 sec, guys. And I'm back. Yeah, and now it's dark. No, well, nearly dark. I had to put the ring light on. So yeah, some drama I had to attend to, and yeah, Mercury is in full swing. So yeah, expect some drama. We're already seeing it unfolding on the planet, or we will more drama and things to unfold, and yeah, things may happen in our personal lives. You know, with people, connections, arguments, disagreements, yeah, things like that. So yeah, I was 22, and I was living in my own place, and anyway, I got ready for bed, and I like I did like any other night. Got my PJs on, got into bed, and I was just, you know, lying there relaxing, and then I all of a sudden feel this presence in the room. Again, just want to say I do use past and present tense. Don't ask me why, guys. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out myself. When I share these experiences, it's like it's replaying in my mind, you know, the memories. And so it's like, I guess that's why I use past, present tense a lot. So anyway, yeah, I sense the presence in the room, and I look, and I see standing at the end of my bed a man. Yeah, it was very alarming. There was I couldn't understand how this man got in the room, because I would have known. My door was right at the other end. I guess I guess he could have done. He could have come through the door. I don't know, but you know, I'm quite like I pick up on things. You know, I got a keen hearing, and like I would just know. I'm very, very yeah, I just pick up on things and stuff. But anyway, he was at the end of the bed, and yeah, this man didn't say anything. He just stared at me, and I was just in absolute shock. I felt frozen, almost like paralysis, but not quite. I've experienced that. Maybe there's different strengths of paralysis. I don't know, but I was frozen, and I just looked at him. I was just confused. Because one, why is there a stranger in my house, in my bedroom? And two, what is he doing there? Yeah, just really, really surprised me, shocked me, and yeah, it was weird because you think I'd go into fear. But that's the funny thing. I didn't go into fear. Now, if that was a normal man, I would have gone into fear. Well, they say, isn't it? You know, you either fight, flight. What is it? Fight, flight, freeze, and something else, I think. So I just went into freeze, and yeah, my mind was just like frozen. I just, you know, other than, you know, why is he there and stuff, I didn't have any strong emotions, I guess. I don't know. You know, I think when you freeze and that, I don't know, you just don't feel the panic or fear as much. I know flight, you know, you do, and hence why you fly, you run. But I just froze like a deer caught in headlights. Anyway, so this man, he was very tall, broad, very broad shoulders, and he had a prominent jawline, you know, kind of square, and blue eyes, blonde hair, and he was just staring at me. And then the next thing is he walks towards me, and he leans over, and he's just staring at me. I don't know if it was trying to intimidate me or what. And then he climbs on top of me, and yeah, he all of a sudden there was this feeling came over me, I was basically feeling aroused. Ugh, that was hard to say. But it wasn't my own feelings. Like, it was my own feelings, but what I mean is, it was like he made me feel that way. Of course, at the time, I had no idea. Now I know. So basically, he mind controlled me. He did something to induce this arousal feeling within me, and I couldn't stop it. I couldn't control it. It was almost like I was put in like a spell had been put over me or something. I'm struggling, guys. I do struggle with these types of experiences, but anyway, yeah. So he climbs on top of me, and so this is where I get a lot of missing memory. So, whoa. Sorry, guys. I dissociated a bit then. So yeah. And now I've lost I can't think. I don't know. I think maybe one of my alters is trying to come through or protect me or something. But anyway, yeah. So he took advantage of me. Basically, he roped me, if you know what I mean. And there were some other bits in the memory, but I don't remember. And I'll explain in a minute because it'll make sense. But yeah, basically, after he'd done what he'd done to me, he climbed off me, and he stepped back, and he was walking backwards, and he was back at the end of the bed again, and he had this this smile on his face, and then all of a sudden he started I say glitching because I can't think of the right way to explain it, but he started shifting, and they were like, it was like he was glitching, like in and out, like he was trying to transform or change. I was still, just in shock. I was just throughout the whole of it. I was just in shock. I remember whilst he was doing what he was doing, I wasn't screaming. I wasn't trying to fight him off. I don't know if I checked out mentally or was just frozen. Anyway, he continued to shift, and then all of a sudden he was then, he looked not human. He was a bit taller than what he looked in his human form, and his smile was very, very wide smile, and he had these small beady eyes, and yeah, he had like he'd got a green colour. So basically, he was a reptilian or Draco reptilian, I'm guessing. And they come in all different shapes and sizes, and body shapes, and skin colours as well. So they can be orange, green, brown, sandy colour. Anyway, yeah, he was kind of like beige green, and then he almost looked like he got like a grey tinge to him. He almost like like what you see with fish. They have that shimmer. It was kind of like that a little bit, and yeah, he just basically stared at me, and then he just disappeared. He just dematerialized, if that's the right word. Like, I know what dematerialize means, but he just kind of faded out. He was gone. And then I just remember sitting on the bed, and I was still feeling the same way as what I just described for quite a while. And then when I came round, out of that mind control or whatever he'd done to me, I sat there and I looked at myself, and I was like, this can't, that can't be real. It must be a dream. I was in a state of confusion. Like, I was literally like this. I was like going over it in my head, and I was like, this can't be real. This is got to be a dream. It can't be real. And then I noticed I'd got no clothes on. And then I was like, oh shit, that was real. And then I did panic a little bit. So then I was looking for my PJs, and I looked on the floor, and they were in a heap on the floor. And and I was just, I freaked out. And then I remember feeling a bit weird downstairs, if you know what I mean. And I was really nervous. I didn't want to go to the toilet and check, but I had to. So I went to the toilet, and I investigated down there, and let's just say there was some bodily fluids that were not my own. And I never shared this with anyone. Never shared it with anyone, of course, because who's going to believe me? I didn't share it with my mom or anyone. I just kept it to myself for years. Of course, again, as I said before, at the time I had no idea it was a reptilian. And I tell you what, many years later, much when I was having more experiences, and I kept seeing, a lot of my experiences, there's a high reptilian theme. But before I realised what they were or what they were called, like, I just kept having these experiences. They were always present in the majority. In 80% of my experiences, they've always been present. So yeah, I mean, I will get into my other experiences, my super soldier, and my other experiences, missions, secret space force. I've done things as well with them. Yeah. So it just, the minute, it just seems to be reptilian theme. It just seems like I just want to kind of get them out of the way, really. But yeah, so yeah, after finding that in my underwear, I was just like, what the fuck? Freaked out. And then I just didn't want to believe it. I made myself, I told myself that it wasn't real. It wasn't real. Just like a lot of trauma that I'd gone through, and I just pushed it away, and just lived life and forgot about it. Or my alters were, so as I mentioned before, alters can go minutes, days, hours, weeks, months, years between switches. So my alters, they switch, and they're very similar. So you wouldn't know you might see me changes within me, my personality all of a sudden, or choice of words. I might go from being able to articulate my words and then not. Or, there might be some subtle clues. And like I say, some of my alters are similar, and some of them are not. When I was in my 20s, I wasn't who I am now. Like, I was definitely, it was one of my alters, and this is why I went through a lot of years of not, having those memories, because one of my alters, they switched. So yeah, when I'm in my 20s, I did go through longer periods of times, perhaps like months, years at a time between switches. Of course, I had no idea that I had alters back then either. It's only when looking back and realizing and making sense, and all the signs and clues were there, and people saying they saw me when I wasn't there, or people saying that I did this or I said that. No memory of speaking to people, just things like that. I've explained that in other videos, but yes, so I had an experience where I was taken aboard a ship, and there were two Octarian beings, and they introduced me to my hybrid daughter. I don't know if it was the result of that reptilian or this was separate, because I also have an experience and memory of being taken by the Greys and them inserting this long, thin rod in my stomach. I'm assuming to impregnate me. So I don't know. I believe if I've got one hybrid daughter, I believe I've probably got more. So I've probably been impregnated in many ways. But anyway, many of you don't know this, but reptilians, I don't know why he was there. Now, if it was to create a hybrid child, then that would make sense. My hybrid child, she was like a human, grey, but more human looking, but she looked like she got some grey in the mix as well. Maybe there was reptilian there, I don't know. But she looked more human grey hybrid. So yeah, were they using me to breed children because of my DNA, because of my bloodline? Or was he sent to retrieve information from me? Now, again, many people might not know this, but oftentimes reptilians, they can gather intel, they can gather information through sexual intercourse. Just like many of you know, when you have sex with anyone, there's an exchange of energies, but it's more than that. It's an exchange of information as well. So, for instance, if you have sex with someone that's got a lot of trauma or entities and things like that, then you take on energetically and spiritually. You take on that person's energy. It's with you until you can clear that and get rid of that. And this is why those that have a lot of sexual partners, I've seen it myself. I've seen an old friend, she used to be a sex worker, and over the years, just her mental health declined. And I kept telling her, it's because you're not protecting your energy. These people you're sleeping with, they are infected energetically, spiritually. They have implants, they have entities, trauma, you name it. And I just saw over the years her progressively getting worse, and then she ended up being diagnosed with this and that, and so yeah, so reptilians, they know this, and so they can download information into the body, and they can take information and use that information for whatever reason, take it to whoever needs that information. It's a way to collect information. It's a way to get I don't know, whatever it is that they want to find out about a person, and so yeah, I don't know, was it that, or was it to create hybrid children? I really don't know. But yeah, anyway, I'll share those experiences. Well, like I say, I've had many abduction experiences, not just military, extraterrestrials, both positive and negative. So I will share those experiences. They'll probably be shorter videos because some of them are just not very detailed, but it's enough memory to know what they were doing. But anyway, yeah. Just want to make sure I haven't missed anything. Oh, honestly, my mind. So yeah, again, because I digress. So yeah, of course at the time I didn't know obviously that it was a reptilian. I just knew that I saw them a lot. They
there in most of my experiences. So 10 or so years ago, I came across, I think it was Elena Danaan or someone else before Elena Danaan. I don't think Elena Danaan's been on YouTube quite that long, but she has been on there a long time. And someone was sharing their experiences and showing images and stuff like that. And yeah, wow. When I saw that reptilian, well, it just validated my own experiences, really. Well, number one, validated my experiences, and number two, well, I knew exactly who and what it was. Reptilian shapeshifter. And so then I went down that rabbit hole and getting more information on who are they, what are they, what's their purpose, what's their agenda, why me, you know, going through all that process, you know, going through all that, you know, and trying to process it all as well. So yeah, I just remember my, what's that saying, like my heart just I'm struggling, guys, honestly. It's been a day today. I just, this energy in me was just like poof, fell into the pit of my stomach, and I was just like, my heart was beating 10 dozen, and I was just freaking out because like I say, after that experience, I didn't want to talk about it, I didn't share it with anyone, I didn't want to acknowledge it, I just wanted to, you know, I told myself it wasn't real. And then to find out, you know, in that moment, it just opened it all up again, and really confirmed it, you know. And I couldn't run away from it, I couldn't escape it. And yeah, but anyway, yeah, I will speak to you soon, guys, in a new upload.